What is up, all my beautiful legends? I hope you guys are having a great week and happy Wednesday. Before we dive into chapter 3 of Geiger, I am just going to say I apologize. This was supposed to be out last week, but I delayed it a little bit. With editing and timing of my other videos, it just wasn't the right format, and I just wasn't happy with it. So we're going to get right into it, and you see right on the left that crushed skull of chapter 3 of the cover image, and then we get a nice little flashback, and it starts off with how dangerous is it? The form of systematic radioscopic therapy is admittedly experimental, Tracy. And it's basically Tariq and his wife talking to the doctors. And it says, but our success rate for reducing malignant tumors, even in the most aggressive stages like this, has been encouraging. So you're basically seeing, we know Tariq used to have cancer. We're seeing kind of what kind of helped him survive the nuclear explosions and what is going on. It says Tariq's treatment will be a combination of drug delivery and linear acceleration. Our hope is the cancerous cells in your husband's bones will be affected while the healthy cells will be spared. And then it says Henry, it's him, the glowing man, as their visors are glowing up. And then you have that splash page and it's like, my name's Geiger. And again, I always love that green glow, that kind of smoke, that radioactive smoke bellowing out of his mouth, and he just looks absolutely artwork. The artwork in this book, the details, the grittiness of it, is something that I'm always going to truly enjoy. I thought he would be taller. He looks pretty tall to me. I'm Haley. This is my brother Henry. They say, thank you for saving us from those things. And he says, night crawlers. We need to go. These are scouts, but there will not be soldiers far away. He's like, please don't stare, kid. It isn't polite, as he's slowly reverting back towards his human form, but his eyes are so glowing. She's like, but how do you do that? And how come you don't have to wear a suit out here? He's like, get in your car and come back home. We can't. We're from Las Vegas. Basically explaining our mom. She was trying to get us somewhere safe. The King's men, the knights, what did they do? Basically crying out and saying, they killed my mom. And then there's another flashback. He's like, what a family trip this is going to be. Sure is, one for the ages, as he's kind of standing there looking into the silhouette of the moon. And then we get a jump forward and it says, the night after the King's scavengers encountered Geiger. You hear a little bit of a rustle. He's sleeping outside, the bunker with his wolf, and he's like, you okay in there, hun? And then remember, he used to stay and protect and safeguard the bunker where his family was when the bombs went off. And he opens it, and they're like, shoot him! He gets lit up by gunfire, and a big explosion happens. He's like, we can't go home, a little subtitle bubble. They're like, the car won't start. I don't want to stay out here. I hate it out here. And he keeps kind of flashing back and forth, Says, don't let him move. He's got these rods in his back. He'll take them out. He'll light up like a slot machine. And he's like, bet you regret kicking in my teeth now, you freak. We're back to take everything you got. And you hear, oh no. Everything the monster has belongs to me, including his head. And this is where you see the kind of prince, the king's son, for the first time before he got all scarred up. And you're going to see what happens and how he got that wound. They're like, he's got a whole arsenal in here, king. Yes, more guns. Load them all up. Of course, but where the creature I've come to slay? I'll put his glowing corpse in the casino for all to believe in my greatness. And then they're like, here's here. And they're like, that can't be him. He's not wearing a suit. He's just a man. He's nothing special. And then he's like, the prince was like, the stories are a bit tall, aren't they? Well then, as, Tariq's just laying there, and the prince, unsheaths his blade. He says, hold him, and keep his neck long. It might take me a few swings. Look at this. What is it? And they're like, a bunker. Wonder what he's got stashed inside there. And that's when Tariq snaps up. He's like, stay away from there. He's like, the monster talks. Now I'm curious. Blow it open. No. Please, take the guns. Take them all. Whatever you have hiding in there. He's like, just take whatever you have. I don't want you to go into that bunker. As he screams no, as they blow it up. And Tariq's like, no. And then you see a couple panels, and then he says, Tracy, kids, and then there's just flames, a little bit of smoke, smoldering ruins. They're like, there's nothing inside, nothing worth anything, just a bunch of skeletons. And that's when you see that it's Tracy, his kids, from when the bombs went off, they were trapped inside that bunker. And then one of the knights, throws a skull, and you can only tell by that panel that that's the skull that's going to be on the cover image. So all hell is about to break loose in these next couple panels, because Tariq is one mad dude. And here's where we get the realization of what everything happened during the bombs, what happened to Tariq, why he's Geiger, how he turned into him. It says shut the door, lock it, and do not open it for anything. Do you understand? That was the last thing he said to his family. That was the moment Geiger finally faced the truth. As they go in, they say, "We love you." And then there's a little panel with the nuke explosion. "You'll kill everything you touch now, Tariq, but I can help you. The vest will contain the radioactivity provided the rods stay fastened. Only remove them in case of emergency. You build up too much power without the rods secured, and everything you have inside you will explode." So basically, once he unsheaths the rods, that's when he can transform into Geiger. That's when he starts using his radioactive powers. But if he leaves them unsheathed for too long, he himself can actually explode and go critical mass and go off like a nuke. Well, whoever they were, it seems they've been dead since the big bombs hit. Oh wait, do you know them? You must have, because you built a wall around the shelter, and I assume you scavenged weapons from everyone you ran into out there, protecting them, ha ha ha. But you've been protecting a grave. The horrible glowing man, you poor idiot. And that's where you see the little panel with the skull crushed, and he's like, "What the fool you are," just laughing, absolutely laughing. And this is when Tariq absolutely goes postal and snaps. And you hear just somebody going, "Ugh," like basically getting killed or something happening. And there he is. You see Geiger break his chains, unsheath those rods, and now the glowing man in all his radioactive glory is there to behold. Now we're going to have some quick, fast-paced action panels as he basically just starts taking everybody out. You see him throw his little staffs, his little rods, takes dude out kind of Nightwing style. You got the wolf getting in on taking people down. And then he's like, the king's like, "Don't let him get near me." And then his royal guard's like, he won't. As basically he goes to hit his sword and he blocks it with his rod. And he's like, "Oh no, oh no." He's like, "You took hope from me." Because like I said, we're in kind of a little flashback. It was doing a little jumping around. Geiger and Tariq still thought, his family was alive. He didn't know. He had enough supplies in there, but he could never open the door because of the conditions, the radioactivity. So he was just always guarding it. So now that the door's open, now that he sees his family's dead, he's under that awful realization. "If you hurt me, I'll have you skinned alive, do you understand? Disemboweled!" And then he basically just melts his sword with his own bare hands. He's like, "I have nothing now." And he's like, "Oh no, no," as Geiger is literally just slowly putting his fingers through his protective mask. Another one of these gorgeous one-page splashes, and he's like, "Ah," as Geiger is just basically face palming the king with his bare hands. And then now it says "now," and you remember back in the original pages from issue 1 where it showed how his face was all messed up, you now see why. And it says, "I've got nothing to offer you, so stop following me. But we have no car, we have nowhere to go. That we have in common. Bye." As you see a vroom as a car approaches. Lights light them up. "It's the King's men, oh no." And he's like, "Look what we got here. Those two thieves and the glowing man himself. You all got quite a price on your heads. Let's correct it, boys." And then this is one of my favorite panels, and you'll see it later. We have a 2-page splash. It's just a whole panel of just, green. Just him lighting up as he was taking his rods out. And then the very next page is the cars exploded. The dudes are dead, and they're like, "Wow, you said your mom was trying to get you someplace safe? Let me see the map." And that will wrap up issue 3. Again, I'm going to finish the series because we have Ghost Machine Day coming out April 3rd. So you might see these a couple times a week, probably on twice a week on my Wednesday and my Saturday video, because I do want to finish the series before we get to Ghost Machine Day. That way we can wrap it all up and we have the new release of Rook, Geiger, and Redcoat. I am so excited for it, and then I'm going to be grabbing Hyde Street as well. So if you haven't followed, make sure you check me out on Instagram for all the details with anything going on my channel. Go follow Ghost Machine, go follow all those guys on Instagram, go make sure you guys go show them some love because they are doing great things for the comic book industry. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I will see you Friday for my Friday Positivity and Shoutouts at 10:30 a.m. Like I said, Saturday I will be doing another video. We'll see if it's going to be issue number 4, but if not, it will be next Wednesday for sure. So stay tuned, just make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss any notifications. Make sure you hit that link in the description so you can keep up to date with all my information and all my links. I love you guys to death. I really appreciate you guys. Stay legendary. And as always, I hope you guys find what you're looking for. Thank you.